All right. Hey, thanks for checking out the video here. It's Blaze of Glory, aka Bog. I'm here with Parcevall, aka SonOfBoG.
Hey guys.
And today, I picked up a Commander Adaptive Enchantment deck. Parcevall just got the
Subjective reality?
deck from one of his grandpas. We've never played Commander. We've thought about it for a while. And with him getting a deck, I decided to take a shot at it. Looking around what's available at stores, this one stood out to me primarily because of one card. We'll take a look at it in a sec. But there's a couple options out there, and I've heard a lot of naysaying about 2018. But it's ended up being $45.81 from Walmart, and so I did pay full price for it. But we wanted to pick something up today to open up, and let's see. We've got that says join the fray. Choose your commander and carve a path to victory in this unique multiplayer Magic format. Call upon powerful planeswalkers and deploy their signature strategies to make sure you're the last player standing. And Adaptive Enchantment says Estrid wears many faces, only occasionally wearing her own. Her arsenal of enchanted masks lets her shift seamlessly between the powers and fighting styles of countless creatures to adapt to enemy tactics. You do get a deck box, a 100 card deck with 17 new cards, 10 double-sided token cards, plus a foil oversized commander card. So we're going to just go ahead and crack it open here and look through the cards with you. All right. And we'll probably do a video here too when we actually go ahead and update our decks here and modify them so they're a little bit more competitive. I know Parcevall's already finding some cards there. I've got the gloves on again. Been working on the car again today, so you can see got the filth in there. So figured this was easiest. And just you gotta rip it there. We gotta push it in. Back them in and just go like that. All right. Oh, and it comes. You get your trash out of the way here. Toss that out. All right, and right there. Some people, it's curled, you can see, but no surprises there. It's foil, it's huge. That is pretty cool. I like the art on there a lot. Untap each enchanted permanent you control
For 2 loyalty.
Thank you. And so that's pretty powerful. -1 loyalty. You create a white aura enchantment token named Mask attached to another target permanent. The token has enchant permanent and totem armor. That's why I actually selected this disc or this deck, excuse me, was because the totem armor was one of my favorite effects from when I started getting back into Magic a while ago. -7 loyalty. You want to read that one?
Put the top 7 cards of your library into your graveyard, and then return all non-aura enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then do the same for aura cards.
So you gotta bring back all your guys and power them back up. Mistrad the Mask can be your commander, of course. So she comes out with 3 loyalty. She's got the 1 colorless, and then of course a green, a white, and a blue. So that's a pretty nice little setup there. And here we'll just we'll set this down here, and we're gonna put Estrid. Let's see, we'll put her right there, off to the side there, so you can see her. All right, and I forgot before I threw out the trash, the card that really has me excited. I want to look for is this guy, the Slumbering Isle. That, when I was looking at all the decks in the store, that's the one that was like, you know what? That looks like it's going to be fun to play. Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I did preemptively order online, too, from eBay for like $1. I did get an extra set of mass tokens. So I'm planning on using lots of tokens here, of course. So we'll put those aside and let's take a look, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so I like the deck box. It's big enough for the promo card to go in on top. Cool. You get the instructions here. And it talks about playing the deck. What do you think? Should we read all this nonsense? No? I'm sure you guys can find this. If you look it up online, we're going to keep the video a reasonable length here. But we've got the rule book here, and it talks a little bit about each of the different commanders from 2018. Oh, no, these are the different commanders in this deck?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And that's the one right there. That's the Kraken Eryximethus. Forgive my poor pronunciation. Is so large that he is frequently mistaken for an island. While he slumbered, an entire city was built on his back. When he awakened, as the planeswalker Kiora battled the sea god Thesa, he wrought destruction beyond any the hapless citizens of the island had ever known. That is just cool art. I like that card. All right, so you got your deck box here. It's got a nice insert. Now, that's cool. Holds the card up there, keeps it in good shape. Oh, nice. Text about standard, booster draft, and commander. We just did our first booster draft yesterday. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What was the set?
It was Guilds of Ravnica.
That was fun.
It was a 4-pack booster draft, which a lot of people said there was odd, and that they are normally 3 booster pack drafts.
Yeah, did you get anything you wanted to show off?
Yes.
Here, let's take a look at those before we crack into it real quick.
So, this card we got during the draft. Aurelia, Exemplar of Justice, for 2 colorless, 1 mountain, and 1 white. She's a 2/5 flying legendary angel with Mentor, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to 1 target creature you control until end of turn. Until end of turn, that creature gains +2/+0, gains trample if it's red, and it gains vigilance if it's white. And it can be your commander because it is a legendary creature.
That's a cool one.
Yeah.
Good pull. What's the other one?
And this card we got recently from Dominaria. It was not during the draft, but it could be put into this deck because it uses white and green. And you could also use it as a commander because it's a legendary angel. It's a 3/4 flying, and you planeswalkers you control and other creatures you control have hexproof. And for 4 colorless and 2 forests, you can put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
So that's like a game ender and pretty much overpowered and unfair, huh?
Yeah, and she is Shalali, Voice of Plenty.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here. Let's dig into this deck here, and we're just going to pull these guys out, and we're going to go through one by one at a reasonable pace here. And, of course, we got our standard size foil variant of Estrid. Keep mispronouncing that, but it's also a nice card. Very flat, good shape, good to start with there. I'll put that down right there. And next we've got Kestia, the Cultivator. That is a legendary enchantment creature, a nymph. Bestow, which is another one of my favorite, what do you call them? Effects, yeah. For 3 colorless, a green, a white, and a blue. So that's pretty expensive. If you cast this card for its bestow cost, it's an aura spell with enchant creature. Becomes a creature again if it's not attached to a creature. So enchanted creature gets +4/+4. Whenever an enchanted creature or enchantment creature you control attacks, draw a card. So that's a nice one. Helps you mill through. It's a 4/4. Definitely an interesting option for your commander choice. Next up, Tuvasa, the Sunlit. That's a cool looking card foil, especially. Really like that effect. Legendary creature, Merfolk Shaman. See, that's one of the other reasons is I like to play a lot of Merfolk, and I have a lot of classic Merfolk cards, so I figured I might be able to break it off and modify a Merfolk deck here. Tuvasa the Sunlit gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control. Whenever you cast your first enchantment spell each turn, draw a card. So it helps you move through your deck there. What do you think?
And she is a 1/1.
Oh, yeah. So start slow, but can build up. Okay. And of course, I like the art on the mask tokens. Those are really cool. With the lion, what do you call it? Aura? Yeah, around the like human soldier or whatever it is. Is that human or a cat or what is that? I can't even tell. It's got something on his face. Enchant permanent, Totem Artem. If enchanted permanent would be destroyed, instead remove all damage from it and destroy this aura. And on the back side of these guys, they're horror token artifact creatures. I don't know, is that for a different deck or something?
Yeah. They are not used in this, but they can be used as the horror tokens for
Okay, so we got
decks.
5. So there's 15 mass, and then look at this. I didn't know you got any cats. That's cool. I actually have old cat tokens from the Johnny days, right?
And I have several old cat tokens from Scars of Mirrodin, which I recently opened a fat pack of.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a 2/2. Oh, there's you got a angel, a 4/4 flying angel token creature. Got a couple of those. Okay, well, I'm guessing we'll see some angels in the deck, which I like. All right, so let's see. We got a loyal unicorn. I haven't seen one of those really before. I don't think. Maybe got one in one of our recent sets. Vigilance. I like that. Lieutenant. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to creatures you control this turn. Other creatures you control gain vigilance until the end of turn. It's pretty nice. That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
I could use that. All right. Oh, a lot of loyal creatures here. Loyal Drake. It's a creature Drake. I like that art. Flying. Lieutenant, at the beginning of combat, on your turn, if you control your commander, draw a card. All right. Interesting. So if you control your commander, they get a little boost, huh? He's a 2/2 flying.
And a Loyal Guardian.
Keeping the theme going. Do you want to read this one?
It's a 4/4 trample. And with Lieutenant, at the beginning of your combat turn, if you control your commander, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That can be pretty crazy if you also get the unicorn out, because then you can put +1/+1 counters on all of your creatures, and they don't take damage.
Right.
So
I like that he's petting the rhino in the face. Aw, it's a rhino. All right. Dismantling Blow. All right, it's an instant. It's got the 2/1 cost there. Kicker, that's another one of my favorites. Little kicker here. So for 2 colors and a blue, you may pay an additional one as you can. Everybody knows how kicker works, I guess. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. If this spell was kicked, draw 2 cards while you're at it. Restock a little bit, right? Okay, so let's see. Sage's Reverie. That's an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. When Sage's Reverie enters the battlefield, draw a card for each aura you control that's attached to a creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each aura you control that's attached to a creature. Nice. I feel like I'm going to have fun playing this deck possibly here. Soul Snare. Another enchantment. It's a single white. Sacrifice Soul Snare. Exile target creature that's attacking you or a planeswalker you control. Nice. Very useful. 15 minutes in here. We should probably speed this up a little bit, huh? Unquestioned Authority. 2 colorless and a white. It's an enchant creature. When Unquestioned Authority enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature has protection from creatures. Always a good one here. You want to do this one?
Sure. Archetype of Imagination. It is a human wizard with enchantment. It's a 3/2. creatures you control have flying, and creatures in your opponent's control lose flying and can't have or gain flying.
Well, you know what? You already know what I was talking about putting in here to modify the deck. Remember the Stormtide Leviathan?
Yes.
Well, that would be really mean in
Yes.
conjunction with that because it would take their ability to fly away.
And
I
then
like
none
it.
of their creatures could attack unless they had Island Walk.
Beautiful. El Umbra. This is a classic. I've got lots of these in my box out back over there. Flash, enchant creature, and it gets in +1/+1, and totem armor. Very useful card. Perfect for like keeping your guys safe, you know. And Flash makes it so you can really surprise somebody with that. Vow of Flight. It's a 2 colorless and a single blue. It's an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 as flying and can attack you or a planeswalker you control. Huh.
So if they stole it, they could not attack you with it.
Yeah. Weird. That's an odd one. I guess if you're playing a multiplayer game, you could use it too on somebody else to boost their up and be like, hey, you might as well use him to attack somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. I like these cards. The borders on these, the bestows, I think. Whitewater Naiads. It's an enchantment creature, nymph. Constellation. I'm not familiar with that. Someone mentioned it the other day, though. Levi, right? Constellation. Whenever Whitewater Naiads or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Very nice. Super useful. 4/4. 3 colorless and 2 blues. Okay, I'm going to get into some green creatures here. And Aura Gnarlid. It's a beast creature. And creatures with power less than Aura Gnarlid's power can't block it. Aura Gnarlid gets +1/+1 for each aura on the battlefield, so that's going to beef him up pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn's Reflection. It's an enchantment aura. Enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 2 mana in any combination of colors. Oh.
And it's 3 colorless and 1 forest to cast.
Well, that's super nice. I like that. All right. Want to read this one?
Sure. Fertile Ground. It's for 2 mana. Enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of any color.
Nice.
So it's like a cheaper version of the last one.
Nice. Really getting your mana going. Crew fixes. Insight. Would you say that differently?
Nope.
All right. Sorcery. Reveal the top 6 cards of your library. Put up to 3 enchantment cards from among them into your hand, and the rest of the reveal cards into your graveyard. The horizon is tantalizing in both its uncertainty and potential. It's a 2 colorless and a single green. All right. Overgrowth. Enchantment aura for 2 colorless and a single green. It's another enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 2 green mana. That's great. I like this. I'm liking this deck, man. Reclamation Sage. 2 colorless and a single green. It's a elf shaman creature. And when Reclamation Sage enters the battlefield, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment.
And it is a 2/1.
Yeah, not too bad. You can imagine using that sometimes. Ooh, Snake Umbrella, that's one of my favorites. 2 colorless and a single green. Enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has, whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Totem armor. I like the art on that one too. That's one of the other things. The old enchantment auras, I really like the art with like the person doing like the magical animal around him. For whatever reason, that was some card art that I liked a lot. All right. Yeah, here, go ahead and straighten up. Thanks. Vow of Wildness. It's an enchantment aura for 2 colorless and a single green. It's got a pretty freaky dude on there. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +3/+3 and has trample and can attack you or a planeswalker you control. Cool. I wonder what set those ones are coming from, where there was like a lot of like steal the creature effects or something, where you had all these guys with like protection against it. Want to do this one? Another wild card?
For 1 forest, it is a enchantment aura with enchant land.
What's it called?
Wild growth. Sorry. And
right.
It has enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 forest.
Nice. Good land ramping in the deck. Yavimaya? Yavimaya? I don't know. Enchantress. Creature. Human druid. Yavimaya Enchantress gets +1/+1 for each enchantment on the battlefield. She's a 2/2 for 2 colorless and a green. She looks like a freaking plant mermaid or something. I don't know. All right. All right, so that was like all the green spells, creatures. These are the multicolors, I think. This will be interesting. All right. Bant Charm. 1 green, white, and blue. Choose one. Destroy target artifact. Put target creature on the bottom of its owner's library. Or counter target instant spell. Very nice. Very useful card, I imagine. So with like, since you can use it in different ways, I like that. All right, an Unflinching Courage. Colorless and a green and a white. Enchantment aura. This guy. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has trample and lifelink. Nice. You want to do this one? I like that art.
And of course, all of the 2018 Commander decks come with a Soul Ring for 1 mana, and you tap it and it adds 2 colorless mana.
Nice.
So those are always useful.
I do like the art though.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's a classic card.
All right. Oh, and we got a couple of planes here. We'll get those out of the way. Boring. Right?
Yep.
Okay. The Imperial Storm. 4 colorless and 2 white. It's a sorcery, and when you cast this spell, copy it for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone in this game. Create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Nice.
And that can be very useful. You can create a lot of 4/4s with flying.
Yeah, in late game.
Yeah.
Heavenly Blade Master. 5 colorless. 1 white. Creature angel. It's got flying and double strike, which is killer. When Heavenly Blade Master enters the battlefield, you may attach any number of auras and equipment you control to it.
That's not scary at all.
So that comes in late game and just is going to kill whoever. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached to Heavenly Blade Master.
So if you attach, say, 6 enchantment,
pulled 6 enchantment masks off of 6 creatures,
then it would gain it would gain totem armor, and everything else you had would get
with
+6/+6. Which
wow,
would be pretty scary.
Great inclusion in this deck, obviously, right? Ooh, Estrid's Invocation. Now, I believe each of the commanders has like 1 spell specific to them in their deck, right? It's an enchantment. You may have Estrid's Invocation enter the battlefield as a copy of any enchantment you control, except it gains. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile this enchantment. If you do, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. A copy of any enchantment you control. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile this enchantment. If you do, no, that's. I'm going to have to read about that one. I'm going to quite get it. Enchanters add layer upon layer of complexity in the world around it. If you do, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So where does it go? Oh, okay. So it copies an enchantment. And then if you want, you can exile it to, like, I guess avoid some kind of cost or fee or attack or something. Whatever. Moving on. We gotta move on. All right. Ever watching Threshold. It's an enchantment. Whenever an opponent attacks you and or a planeswalker you control with one or more creatures, draw a card. Nice. Let's get a little extra tools to defend, right? I love the art for this one. Yeah.
Octopus Umbra for 3 colorless and 2 island. It's an enchantment. Enchanted creature has base and power and toughness of 8/8, and whenever this creature attacks, you may tap target creature with power 8 or less, and it has totem armor.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that was another one when I was looking at these trying to decide. I was like, you know what? I really like that Octopus Umbra. All right, this is kind of cool. Genesis Storm. Got some deer and stuff coming from who knows where. 4 colorless, 2 green. It's a sorcery. And when you cast this spell, copy it for each time you cast your commander from the command zone this game. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land permanent card. You may put that card onto the battlefield, then put all the other cards revealed this way that weren't put onto the battlefield on the bottom of your library in a random order. So avoid shuffling it, right? Myth Unbound. Your commander costs 1 colorless mana less to cast for each time it's been cast from the command zone this game. It's like a reverse commander fee. Whenever a commander is put into the command zone from anywhere, draw a card. Nice. Mila's Colossus. That's a cool looking card. It's an enchantment creature giant. Constellation. Whenever Mila's Colossus or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, double target creature's power and toughness until the end of turn. Huh. Yeah, it seems fair. Seems fair. You want to do this one?
Sure. Ravenous Slime for 2 colorless and 1 green is a ooze creature, and it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. And if a creature an opponent controls would die, instead exile it and then put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to that of creatures' power on Ravenous Slime.
Death eventually wiggles toward us all. Look at that art. It's freaky.
So you could boost it with auras, and then whenever someone with power less than it would block it, it basically absorbs their power.
Yep, keeps growing, right? Rick Smith Mixus? Rick Smithus? How would you say that, dude? Slumbering Isle.
Arixmethus?
Right? Whatever. 2 colorless, a green and a blue. So if you were to use this one, you'd have to take your white out from the deck if you wanted to use this one as your commander, right?
Yes.
But look at the art. It's like a lobster monster. Like it? It's a legendary creature, Kraken. The Slumbering Isle enters the battlefield tapped with 5 slumber counters on it. As long as Rick Smith's whatever, has a slumber counter on it, it's a land. It's not a creature. Whenever you cast a spell, you may remove a slumber counter from Rick Smith's. Tap. Add 1 green and 1 blue mana.
And it is a 12/12, which is pretty massive.
I like it.
But you can cast it for 4, and its downside is that it's a land until you cast 5 spells.
Yeah. A lot of good spells in here need casting, though.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You want to read the Hydra?
Sure. Hydra Omnivore for 4 colorless and 2 green. Whenever Hydra Omnivore deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent.
Oh. Perfect for multiplayer games.
Yeah, and it is a 8/8.
Nice. I like the Hydras. They're fun. Bruna, Light of Alabaster. 3 colorless, white and a blue. So another option if you wanted to modify the deck here for a legendary creature angel. She's got flying vigilance. Whenever Bruna, Light of Alabaster, attacks or blocks, you may attach to it any number of auras on the battlefield, and you may put onto the battlefield attached to it any number of aura cards that could enchant it from your graveyard and or your hand.
So you can whenever
So that's
it
like the
attacks,
last one, but like on steroids.
Yeah, so whenever it would attack, you can pull all enchantments from the entire graveyard, hand, or battlefield onto it.
That's your opponent's too, I would assume. It's a pretty mean card, man. Johnny's Chosen. Creature cat soldier. And whenever enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/2 white cat creature token. If that enchantment is an aura, you may attach it to the token. So you could, if it's an enchantment, you can put it into the battlefield and attach it to the cat creature token and stuff. That's crazy. Cool. Might need more cat tokens. Celestial Archon. That's an enchantment creature. He's 3 colorless, 2 white. Bestow. I've used this one before. I have one of these from the original set with Bestow. I can't remember what it was. One of the past ones there. But Bestow. 5 and 2 whites. If you cast this card for its Bestow cost, it's an aura spell with enchant creature. Becomes a creature again if it's not attached to a creature. Flying. First strike. Enchanted creature gets +4/+4 and has flying and first strike. Creature. Alright, so interesting.
So it can be a 4/4 flying and first strike, or give something +4/+4 and flying and first strike.
Right. Okay. Marshall Coop.
It's for X and 2 planes.
Alright. Sorcery. Create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures.
That's interesting.
I like it. I like it.
And I have several of these cards in one of my artifact decks from the Siege on Mirrodin set, that box that I opened, and they are definitely interesting.
Are you talking to this guy?
Yes.
The Phyrexian Rebirth. You want to read it?
Sure. It is for 4 mana and 2 white, and destroy all creatures. Then create an XX colorless horror artifact creature token where X is the number of creatures destroyed this way.
Hence the horror tokens in there too, huh? That monstrosity.
So if you destroy 12 creatures this way, you can create a 12/12 one of these.
I don't want to see it. Sounds scary. Alright. Sigil of the Empty Throne. It's an enchantment. 3 colorless and 2 white. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Again, why we've got so many angel tokens. Very nice. The Silent Sentinel. It's a creature, Archon. Flying. Whenever Silent Sentinel attacks, you may return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Nice. To the battlefield, too, not to your hands. Use the 4/6. Alright, let's see. Now, I'm going to just flip through here real quick and get rid of the basic lands because I'm tired of waiting for them to show up here, and I want to kind of see how much time we got left here. Let's see. Is this all land right here? I say, oh, nope, not all land. Let's see. You want to go through that?
Mm-hmm.
Check and see if there's any others. We'll look at the double, all the kind of special land. But the basics, let me see more basics. Here we go. Alright. There we go. And our little format token. Here, you want to count those out. Tells how much each color you get. And I'll do a couple more cards here while you're doing that, okay? Alright. Winds of Wraith. Wraith. I don't know how you would pronounce that one without the W. Sorcery. Destroy all creatures that aren't enchanted. They can't be regenerated. I like it. 3 colorless, 2 white. Dictate of Krufix. Enchantment. 1 colorless, 2 blues. That's a flash. And at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Nice. Knowledge is cruel. It will break your heart and test your allegiance. Are you certain you want this curse? Very cool. Oh, nice. The old bear umbra. That's an enchant aura for 2 colorless, 2 green. Enchanted aura creature gets +2/+2 and has whenever this creature attacks, untap all lands you control. Totem armor. Really useful if you want to do some work in the second phase.
So we have a total of 9 plains, 8 forests, and 6 island. But then we also have the special lands later on.
So you said 9 plains, 6 islands,
and 8 forests.
So 23 basic lands in there. Cool. Thanks, man. Thank you for counting that up. Yeah, put them right there. That works. All right. We don't have too many more. Let's get through this. Boon Satyr. Enchant creature Satyr. Flash. Bestow. Its regular cost is 1 colorless, 2 green for 4/2. With Bestow, though, it's 3 colorless, 2 green. And the enchanted creature would get +4/+2. I like it. It's just a really flexible mechanic, you know. Creeping Renaissance. Sorcery. 3 colorless, 2 green. Choose a permanent type. Return all cards of the chosen type from your graveyard to your hand. Flashback. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost. Pretty good. Pretty good. Lets you bring everything back twice. Ugh, that's messed up. Eidolon of Blossoms. Enchantment creature spirit. With Constellation, whenever Eidolon of Blossoms or another enchantment creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. It's a 2/2 with 4 costs on there. All right. Got Enchantress's Presence. It's an enchantment. 2 colorless and a green. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. Helps speed up your deck a lot. A lot of good cards for that in here. Here, you want to do this one?
Sure. This is a Epic Proportions. 4 colorless and 2 forest. And it's a enchantment aura with flash and surprise someone. It's a enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +5/+5 and has trample. So if, say, you have a blocking creature that would die, and then you cast this and surprise them, it can kill one of their creatures.
Yep, they won't be ready for a great booby trap. Or if you attack with one and they're like, oh, I'm going to block with this. Oh, no. Ground Seal. 1 colorless, 1 green, enchantment. When Ground Seal enters the battlefield, draw a card. Cards in graveyards can't be the targets of spells or abilities.
So that would counter
a lot of your stuff in here.
Yeah. That we have.
Interesting.
Basically, hexproofs your graveyard.
Interesting. Great. Herald of the Pentathlon. I love the art for that. Look at that. Like cosmic swirl behind him. That's cool. He's 1 colorless, 1 green, so it's a cheap guy to get out for a 2/2. Creature, Centaur, Shaman. Enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life. Yeah, he needs to be in this deck. Very nice. Okay, and Spawning Grounds here. 6 colorless, 2 green. It's an expensive one. It's an enchantment aura. Enchant Land. Enchant Land has tap. Create a 5/5 green beast creature token with trample. That's messed up. Yeah, keep popping these things out. You want to do this one? Mm-hmm. It's a creepy card.
Cold-eyed
Selkie?
Selkie? One colorless and 2 green or island or combination of either or is a creature Merfolk rogue. It has Island Walk. This creature can't be blocked as long as the defending player controls an island. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw that many cards, but it's only a 1/1.
There's
So
definitely
you have to
yeah.
enchant it.
You could build up the Merfolk deck if you wanted to, right? Daxos of Melitus. One colorless, one white, one blue. He's a legendary creature, human soldier. Daxos of Melitus can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. Nice. Whenever Daxos of Melitus deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library. You gain life equal to that card's converted mana cost. Until the end of turn, you may cast that card, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. Huh. That's a pretty cool card. I like it.
And you can pause the video to reread it if it was kind of confusing, because it was.
You want me to look at it again real quick?
You can just put it back up on the screen.
All right, there you go. There's a good pause point for you guys. All right. Elderwood Scion. It's a creature elemental. 3 colorless, a green and a white. Reminds me of, what's that movie? Princess Mononoke. It's a creature elemental. Trample, lifelink. Spells you cast that target Elderwood Scion cost 2 less to cast. Spells your opponents cast that target Elderwood Scion cost 2 more to cast. Nice.
It is a 4/4.
I like it. All right, almost at the end here, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. Finest Hour, 2 colorless, a green, a white, and a blue for an enchantment. Exalted, one of my all-time favorites. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, that creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Whenever your creature you control attacks alone, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap that creature. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase.
So you could attack with a single creature, and then you could untap it and then attack with everything.
Yep. Finest Hour. That's a cool card. I like that. I like Exalted. Remember our Angel Demon Exalted deck? That thing is mean. Righteous Authority. It's a 3 colorless, a white and a blue. It's an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each card in its controller's hand. At the beginning of the draw step of enchanted creature's controller, that player draws an additional card. Very nice.
And then on to the special land.
All right. Want to read it?
This is a Mosswort Bridge, and it has Hideaway. This land enters the battlefield tapped. When it does, look at the top 4 cards of your library. Exile 1 face down, then put the rest at the bottom of your library. And you can tap and add 1 forest, or you can tap 1 forest and it, and you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. If creatures you control have total power of 10 or greater.
That's cool. A very interesting way to do that.
Yes.
Okay. Forge of Heroes.
This is an interesting one that I got in my commander deck as well. And it has tap, add 1 colorless, and tap, choose target commander that entered the battlefield this turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on it if it's a creature, and a loyalty counter on it if it's a planeswalker.
Nice. Very cool. Very useful. Azorius Chancery. It's a... Oh, great. It enters the battlefield tap. When it enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. And it's got the tap add white and blue. Not one of, but the double mana. Those are...
So if you went first, you could have 2 land on your first turn.
Would be tapped.
Right. Well, you could have 3 land on your second turn.
Yeah, exactly. Blossoming Sands. That's a green-white land. When it comes in tapped, of course, and when it enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. A command tower, which is a land, and tap, add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Very useful, especially since it doesn't come out tapped. Evolving Winds, that's been around forever. Tap, sacrifice Evolving Winds.
Wow.
Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library.
And I got a ridiculous amount of those with my Mirrodin box.
Oh, of course, they were super common. Croson Verge. It's a tap, add a colorless land, or colorless mana to your pool. It comes in tapped. If you tap 2 and tap it, search your library for a forest card.
Sacrifice it and then search it.
Oh, thank you. Search your library for a forest card and a plains card and put them onto the battlefield tap. Then shuffle your library. That's cool. Good way to get some stuff out. Power everything up, right? A Meandering Wit River. That's some cool art, I gotta say. Enters tap. Add a white or a blue. Seaside Citadel. Also cool art. It enters the battlefield tapped. Add a green, white, or blue. Celestia Sanctuary. It comes in tap. When it enters the battlefield, return land you control to its owner's hand.
And it taps for a white and green.
Oh, that is a double one. Nice. Simic Growth Chamber. It's a land. Simic Growth Chamber enters the battlefield tapped. When Simic Growth Chamber enters the battlefield, return land you control to its owner's hand, and add a green and blue when you tap it. Terramorphic Expanse. It's a land, and sacrifice Terramorphic Expanse when tapping it. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. So it lets you go looking for the specific type of land you need. Thornwood Falls. Green or blue land here. When the Thornwood Falls enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Tranquil Cove. When Tranquil Cove enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield tap. When Cove enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Tap for blue or for white. Tranquil Expanse. When Tranquil Expanse enters the battlefield tapped, tap it for green or white.
And this one goes for the same, but it enters tapped and it taps for green or blue.
Woodland Stream. Nice art.
And I have something to add. This is the Planeswalker commander that for the what's it called? The Subjective Reality deck. Amanatu. Yeah. The Fate Shifter. It is 1 plains, 1 island, and 1 black.
Shh! Not right now. Go upstairs, dude. I'll be up in a minute.
For +1 loyalty, draw a card and then put a card from your hand on top of your library. -1 loyalty, exile another target permanent you own, then return it to the battlefield under your control. And for its -6, choose left or right. Each player gains control of all non-land permanents other than this card, controlled by the next player in chosen direction. And that's one thing that the other ability in the deck counters, that says that cards cannot attack the player who casts them. So if you chose that and then you got those, you can attack that player with them.
Weird. So if you guys want, just let us know if you want to see a video breaking down the Subjective Reality deck. We will post a video up when we modify or edit this deck if we get around to it here. We will, I don't know what else is coming up. Anything cool that you want to do? We'll try and do some deck breakdowns of our classic decks, which have some really cool cards in there. Maybe some stuff people would be surprised to see. But we'll check in with you guys next time.